Hello, hi. We were supposed to go to Seoul this weekend, but as you can probably tell from my voice and how I look, I got sick. Actually, I have the flu, so we did not go to Seoul. I've got one cat here and one cat here, so my hands are kind of busy right now. Yes, you've come to see me. Okay, nope, he's going away from me. All right, they both left me now. So instead of doing a trip to Seoul, instead I went to the doctor. And so I thought that I would do a video about the healthcare system in Korea versus the UK, and also if you're from the US and stuff, and like Canada, whatever, this might be useful for you. I can't do like a direct comparison because I don't know those healthcare systems as well. But yeah, I'm gonna try and edit out me coughing as much as I can. Um, yeah, I've literally just been like fever, coughing. It's not been good, and I was literally like, I was really, really sick Thursday and Friday, and I still had to go to work. So yeah, it was really fun. At least my cats are keeping me company though. Yes, oh, you're so cute. Sorry, I'm gonna be distracted as long as they're here. Oh no. He wants me to stroke his belly. Oh god, he's so happy that I'm just like able to pay him attention. Right, I'm gonna start. Let me get my notes ready. All I have done today is take my medicine, sleep, see the doctor, and I still sound like this. This is me sounding better, okay? This is me being better. Um, I've been really, really sick this past week. Okay, so differences. I've got 8 to talk about. I feel like some of them people might know before they come, and then some I feel like is something you'd only know if you've like lived here a little while. So the first one being, compared to the UK, you pay for your healthcare here. So in my job, they take out like a small portion as like my healthcare tax, but then it's still not free at point of use. Like when I go to the doctor, even though I've paid towards the healthcare system, it's not free. It's discounted. It's maybe like a 70% discount. Yeah. Sorry, my cats are still. So it's not completely free, which is definitely a bit of a culture shock, but it's not expensive. Like seeing my doctor, the one I usually see, is like 5,000 won, which is like £2 or £3. It's not expensive at all. Um, and like medicine and stuff's really cheap. When I got my surgery and my MRI before the surgery, that was quite expensive because those things weren't as covered. Like my MRI wasn't covered, and that was like 500,000 won, which is like 300 quid, £300. So that was expensive, but definitely cheaper than what I've heard the US is. So yeah, that's kind of two things. So there's a national healthcare system like we have in the UK, and everyone pays into it, but you still have to pay a little bit. It covers like 70% of your healthcare. Yes, I know. You're so... Oh god, he wants me to play with him. 1 second. Let me just... Oh god, let me get him away from the camera, actually. I made a mistake. I put the stick too close to the camera. Would you like to say hello to the people? Sorry, I'm distracted by my cats. Let me show you the cats, and then I'll get it out my system and we can continue with the video. Fluffy Menace. Number 1. Hello. I was having a really nice sleep and he woke me up by licking my nose. Yeah. Yeah, okay, right, Freedom. The other one's now ran away because he knows I'm going to grab him, so. Yes. Right. Continuing. But yeah, in the UK, we do pay into the national healthcare system, but it's then free. The only thing that's not free is dental work, which is why I think there's so many jokes about Brits having, like, bad teeth, is because, like, we have to pay for our dental stuff. Oh my god, Leo is, like, licking the camera. Leo! Hi! Did you give a kissy? I'm so sorry. That was so... Anyway, god, I haven't been this sick in so long. Yeah, so we don't cover a thing as dental, and then like used to have to pay for my medicine when I was in the UK. But it's definitely cheaper here than like in the US from what I've heard. It's been very affordable. My surgery and the MRI, I feel like it was affordable for me. I feel like it wouldn't be affordable for a lot of other people. Like my surgery and the hospital stay and everything around it was like 2 million won. So unless you have 2 million won, which is like, that's nearly like a whole month's salary for most people. So I feel like if you don't have that just like ready to go, that could be kind of rough. Um, so that was brings me on to my other point, which was going to be emergency room wait times and stuff. Now, I've never been to the emergency room in Korea, but from what I've heard, it's definitely less of a wait time and stuff than in the UK. Because I think in the UK, the problem is it takes so long to get an appointment just to see like your general doctor that people go to the emergency room for really small stuff that they don't need to see the emergency doctor for. Um, Instead of like going to the pharmacy or like, you know, waiting it out. So you have like 9 hour plus wait times. I think here it's not as bad, though. Like I said, there is a doctor's strike. So I was supposed to do these in order. I am definitely not doing these in order. Yes, that's something that I've heard, but I've never been to the emergency room here. Let me know if your experience was different. But for me, from what I've heard, it's definitely faster here, and that's what I will say about Korean healthcare compared to UK healthcare. It is so much faster. Like in the UK, it takes like 2 weeks to see a doctor. Like a general practitioner, your GP, you can make your appointment like 2 weeks in advance. And hello, um, you can maybe get an appointment if someone cancels. Can you stop it? Oh god, he's literally like. I wish I could show you, but the floor's kind of dirty. Because I obviously haven't cleaned because I don't feel very well. Um, they're just. Leo's like trying to crawl under my legs to fight his brother. It's like a mess. I can't even remember what I was saying. Yeah, so in the UK, you have to wait a really long time to see the doctor. And then like for example, say like I broke like I guess if you broke on your leg, but say for example like my surgery for my ankle, it wasn't an emergency, right? So I had ligament damage to my ankle. I needed surgery to fix it, keyhole surgery. In the UK, it would have been 2 weeks to see my GP. God knows how long to like it would have been weeks, maybe a month to get the MRI or X-ray, and then God knows how long to see a surgeon. Like it would have been a nightmare. I did X-ray very shortly after seeing my GP, like a week or two after seeing my GP. And a lot of that was because of my time constrictions because of my job. And then as soon as like they confirmed what was wrong, they were like, okay, we can do the surgery in 2 weeks. Which is like insane. Imagine getting a surgery for 2 weeks, like a non-emergency surgery for 2 weeks in the UK. Like that's crazy. But I had to say no because I was like I would have to have missed work for like 2 or 3 weeks. So instead I waited until into vacation to do it. But yeah, like the speed that you can get an appointment and like progress is crazy. I definitely appreciate. So to me, it's worth paying the amount that you pay because you're getting faster service. Yeah. Also, regarding GPs, because like I said, in the UK, you have to wait like 2 weeks to see your general practitioner. In Korea, you just go. Like we have our doctor close by. She speaks English, so like all of the native teachers. Actually, when I was on the bus to go because my fiance was still sleeping and I didn't want to make him get up, so I got the bus and my friend was on the bus going to the same doctor. So yeah, she's like the go-to doctor for all the foreigners in the area. You don't need to make an appointment for your GP. You just go and you wait. You like put your name in there and then they just go down the list by order. The longest I've waited was like an hour and a half, 2 hours, and I think that's because like I came in as they were on their lunch break, or like just after their lunch breaks there was like a massive backlog of people. And I think they were also down a staff member. Like it's a lot faster than UK. Like you literally show up, just wait your turn and you're done, right? So there is that definite benefit to it. And so I've noticed that Koreans go to the doctor for even like for example in the UK, if you have a headache or have a cold, there are those people who are like, I need to see the doctor for it. But I think most people would just like get like paracetamol, which is like our version of Tylenol, or ibuprofen, and they would just go to the pharmacy. But in Korea, people will go to hospital, I'll explain that in a minute, for even just like the smallest thing like a cold, and they'll get like actual like prescription medicine for it instead of just taking like pharmacy or convenience store medicine. Which is wild to me. Yeah. Anyway, so you're back. So yeah, you can see a doctor very quickly. As for the hospital thing, in Korean, like actual Korean language, Pyongwon. Bear in mind, okay, second language. I don't speak it very well yet, and I'm sick, so I can't even speak English well at the moment. Pyongwon is hospital in Korean, but they use that to mean like a big hospital and also like a doctor's office. In the UK, we would consider it like a GP surgery where you see your general practitioner. We consider that like a doctor's office. Like we would say, oh, I'm going to go see the doctor. I'm going to the doctor's, like that. You know, we don't say going to the hospital for like general stuff. Hospital is for specialists, emergencies, surgery, x-ray, stuff like that. So when my co-teacher last year was like, oh, I have a headache, so I'll go to hospital, I was like, oh my god, what? Or like, oh, I have a cold, so I'll go to the hospital. I was like, what? So that's crazy to me. That was crazy to me until I realized that it's the same word. So the small clinic I go to is still considered like a hospital. And my Korean teacher would be like, oh, are you going to hospital? I'm like, oh, I'm going to go see a doctor. But they don't say that in Korean. So that was like a little misunderstanding. But yeah, they go to the doctor for like everything, which is, I think, good. I think it's a good thing. I think just unfortunately in the UK, because it takes so long, we don't go. We don't bother unless it's like really bad. Or we go to the emergency rooms and we like fill the emergency rooms because we can't wait for to go to the GP. And then in the US, you have the problem of people ignoring serious issues because they can't afford it for it to be in a serious issue. Like, I think the healthcare system speed and pricing in Korea is pretty good. However, everything is private here. So it's kind of similar to the US where like they just like accept the healthcare package. But everyone has like private practices. Private practices really aren't as common in the UK as they are in the US. So I'm like crossing things off my list as I say them. I've only got a couple more left. Private practices aren't really a thing in the UK in the same way. Like you can get private healthcare, but they're a lot less common. Whereas here they're all private practices. And because of that, it's very much sometimes like just getting through the patients as quickly as possible and not caring about the individual patient and just like, okay, great, next. You know, they're not taking the time to really listen, and they just come up with what the most common solution is and just like conveyor belt, you know. Don't get me wrong, I know that in the UK there's still the same issue of GPs not listening, them just focusing on like the wrong thing and stuff like that. But it happens here too. That is definitely an issue because it's like they make money based on how many patients they see. They're going to see as many patients as quickly as possible. It can feel very like, let's go. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing as long as they're doing their job right, but yeah. So bedside manner is a hit or miss, really. Like when I went to my surgery, the nurses, when I was like in like doing my recovery stay, maybe it's because I didn't speak Korean well, but even then, like to the Korean patients, I think they weren't that like, I think they didn't become nurses because they cared about helping people. They just became nurses because it's a stable job, you know what I mean? Like, some of them were nice, and then most of them were just like, okay, done, bye. Okay, done, bye. And I would ask questions or like try and speak to them, like, hey, I have this concern, and they're just like, no, you're fine, like very dismissive. Hello, hi. So basically, I'm still really sick, but I realized I didn't explain my points very well about the bedside manner thing, so I'm gonna just give a brief, concise explanation, but you can look at my cat while I do it because I look horrendous today. I basically just meant that, like, in the UK, obviously we expect our healthcare providers, our doctors, our nurses, to give us medicine and provide us with healthcare. There's also a certain level of bedside manner and patient comfort involved, like reassuring the patient and making them feel listened to. And obviously not all doctors and nurses are able to do that, but it is definitely like an expectation that we have in UK society. And it might be a cultural difference in Korea because they aren't as like open to dealing with other people's emotions. It's seen as kind of rude to burden other people with your emotions. So maybe I, as a patient, was expected to just deal with my, uncomfortable feeling. But it was definitely like a culture shock to me to feel like they're just here to do medicine and not to actually comfort me. Like, I was alone, I was scared, I was in pain. I was expecting them to like reassure me and make me feel like I'm mattered. And I think it was just a cultural difference, but also some of the nurses were really nice. So I'm not sure how much is cultural difference and how much is just we went to a bad hospital. I don't know. Anyway, that was my point that I was trying to make. It's just it was different to what I'm used to.
and I was rambling so much because I'm on so much medication and I'm so sick. Anyway, thank you.
Um, and yes, some of it is the language barrier. Also, that hospital we went to apparently does have a pretty bad reputation for people being kind of rude. Um, so maybe I'm being a bit unfair. But my experience was generally they were a little bit less patient with patients than in the UK. But that might have just been I might just have had a bad experience. So yeah. Anyway, um, oh yeah, I've already done that one. So I did the one about the hospital confusion I had. So yeah, if you're coming to Korea and your friend is like, "Oh, I have a cold, I'm gonna go to the hospital," don't be surprised. Okay, they're not going to the emergency room or anything like that. They're just seeing a GP.
I actually have two more differences I thought of as I was watching back the video while I was editing. So first one is that obviously you don't make a GP appointment, and that's great, but that means that you have to tell the receptionist why you're there when you like sign in. Um, and that means you have to tell the entire waiting room of other patients what's wrong with you, and sometimes that might be kind of like embarrassing. So yeah, that was definitely something that was definitely weird to me to be like, oh, I have this problem. And if it's like the flu or something, I don't mind. But there was sometimes when I had like other issues, and I was like, I don't want to announce this to a whole room of people. Um, but I guess it's not seen as like a big of a deal here. And then the other one was prescriptions. So in the UK, our prescriptions are electronic, and our doctor will send them to our chosen pharmacy for us. But here they give you the paper prescription to take to the pharmacy, and then the pharmacist takes it. And obviously, you don't get to keep it. You can't like use it as a cheat code to get whatever any medicine you want as much as you want. Um, but yeah, that was just different to me when they gave it to me the first time. I was like, oh, is this like my bill? And they were like, no, this is your prescription. You need to take it to the pharmacy. And I was like, oh, so that was just a difference, not a big deal. But yeah, just definitely different to what I'm used to. Yeah, I'll let sick yesterday Tori finish the video.
The final one is the sheer amount of medicine that you get. So in the UK, if I said I had a cold, first of all, I would just go to the pharmacy, or I would just go literally to like the corner shop and get some cold medicine. But for example, like if I went to the doctor for like having a flu or something, they would give me like one, maybe two tablets of pills to take, right? They have one that's like already made specifically for whatever your condition is that combats everything all at once. Here, instead, what they do is they like for example, today I've got to take 5 pills for my flu, and then like a little tubey thing. So one is for like dealing with congestion, one is for dealing with the fever, one is for dealing with muscle pain. Like they all tackle something else. Instead of putting it into one pill, I just have to take a whole bunch of medicine. And also the like prescribed amount I've noticed is high. Like the same for the vet too. Like when we get medicine from the vet, I try and halve it because they give them so much it makes them vomit. And I've vomited before from the amount of medicine doctors have given me. Like I think they want to be like no one can sue them for not giving them medicine. I just think my stomach isn't used to so many different kinds of pills all at once. Um, so when I first came, I used to like cut my pills in half. Some of them you're not allowed to do it for, so I just have to deal with it. But yeah, it definitely feels like a lot of medication just for like a small thing, really. I do feel a little bit better since taking my medicine and sleeping a lot today, but um, yeah, just if you're coming here, even for just something simple like a cold, like I have been to the doctor for a bad cold before, and I had like 4 pills to take, for a cold, which is ridiculous. I only went because I was like, why do Koreans go so like is the cold medicine better from doctors rather than from the convenience store or the pharmacy? And it was kind of the same, honestly. So I think unless you have something serious like COVID or the flu, you don't need to. But anyway, that's kind of it. So biggest things, speed, good. You have to pay for it, which is obviously weird for the UK, but compared to US, much cheaper. I think the rest of the world, other than the US, healthcare is generally pretty affordable. Not obviously like not for everyone all the time. I know that people have different financial situations, but for me, the healthcare here is like pretty much appropriately priced. I do think the MRI was pretty expensive, and obviously the surgery that I was paying for the surgery, but also my hospital stay. Um, so that one. Yeah, it's all private, so it can feel very much like you're on a conveyor belt. It feels like you're a customer in a fast food restaurant rather than seeing the doctor. Does that make sense? Like, that's the experience I'm going for. Like, in terms of like the customer service and the doctor's time with you is very much like in, medicine, out. Not like, okay, let's talk. Like, you know, the doctor we do see, like the foreigners here see, is better about that. But yeah, those I think are the biggest ones for me. Being able to see the doctor really easily is definitely a massive bonus. Because if I had to make a GP appointment for my flu, I wouldn't have seen a doctor for like 2 weeks, and I would have been better by then. Unless I got lucky and someone cancelled. It's weird. Also, doctors here are generally open on Saturday. Not like big hospitals for a specialist, but because they're private, they want to be open as much as possible. So they generally are open like every single day, including Saturday. Not Sundays, which is wild. Yeah, so this video has been kind of rambly and ranty, and all over the place. I'm really sick. Like I said, I'm on so many medicine. I'm not going to say drugs. I'm on so much medicine right now. Apparently, one of them has a chance of making me hallucinate and, like, be a danger to myself. So that's really fun. It's like a less than 1% chance, but I'm like, I'm unlucky. Oh god, Louie's got the zoomies. Louie! Oh, that you're Leo, you're not Louie. The wrong cat came. I was trying to get your brother. He hasn't said hello yet. Leo's the white one that you've already seen twice today. I'm trying to get the brown one to come over. Louie! Come here, my baby. No, okay. Sorry, like I said, it's been so all over the place. I'm distracted by cats. I'm honestly just sick, so I'm just not able to function right now. Thank you for sticking with me if you are. I do have one more thing, because I promised my sister that when I, like, the next video, which was, like I said, supposed to be Soul. So she watches my videos with her dog, so I would like to take a minute, if you don't mind. Puppy! Puppy, puppy! Hello, puppy! Hi, puppy, puppy! Who's a good girl? That's it. Okay, thank you. I hope she's excited now. Oh god, that hurt. Anyway, Louie, can I grab you? What? I know you don't like it. This is my Louie! Okay, he really hates being held. I'm so sorry. I don't usually do it. I just wanted him to say hi. Fortunately, he's not too mad at me. He's just here. Anyway, this has been an absolute mess. I was planning on this video being like 10 minutes. I don't know how. It's probably like half an hour of me just talking absolute crap. But in my defense, I feel horrendous. So, I hope you've enjoyed seeing me sick without any makeup, rambling. Okay, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe. We do usually do more vlog style content. Like me and my fiance just going out and enjoying Korea, but yeah, I couldn't do that this weekend. So, hi and bye.